Every day around the country, many ordinary women continue to make extraordinary contributions within their families and communities. As part of celebrating Women's Day tomorrow, the Freedom Park is inviting South Africans to partake of the exhibition entitled Ordinary Women, Extraordinary Impact. The exhibition will feature a massive canvas where members of the public can attach photos and other written mementos dedicated to the ordinary women in their lives. This canvas will ultimately form part of Freedom Park's museum, thus ensuring that these women's stories become part of our history. To tell us more about this initiative, we're joined in the studio by the Acting Chief Executive Officer of Freedom Park, Peggy Puttle. Good morning to you.
Good morning for you,
Welcome.
and good morning to your listeners.
No, thank you very much for joining us this morning. Tell us about the idea of the canvas. How big is it and where is it going to be placed?
Well, first, let's start by saying Freedom Park is a cultural institution, heritage, and also it deals with spiritual issues. That is key. Indeed, our core mandate is to tell the African story dating back 3.6 billion years. And how could we forget the role that women played? I mean, those are critical participants in the creation of South Africa. The canvas obviously is it's a 3x3. We have the curatorial department that will be in charge of the mementos, the pictures, the artifacts, the objects that the communities are going to give. It is important that this is part of the history in the making.
Okay. How is it going to work? People will come to Freedom Park and bring their mementos, pictures, and so on. Freedom Park will choose which ones are the best, or how is it going?
No.
Okay.
Freedom Park, in its telling the 3.6 billion years of history, we also rely on ordinary South Africans. One thing that we see is not happening is parents, Ronabo Malumele Borakhadi, we're not telling children of how the struggle was won. So these mementos, these pictures are going to be collected, and we have, of course, a standard set by the curatorial department. So we are not going to choose, because we're all South Africans. And if you say Nkhono is important, is my Nkhono, and I hope you will be able to learn from what Nkhono taught me. So everything that is brought to us will be kept for generations to come.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and from all over the country?
Absolutely.
And people can send it by mail,
yes.
They can bring it themselves?
Yes. People, obviously, tomorrow we expect people to start arriving at 10 o'clock.
Okay.
We'll officially then launch the exhibition. But people are allowed to bring in pictures, mementos, whatever, objects, artifacts, until 3 o'clock. At 3 o'clock, we'll then...
that's the deadline?
That's the deadline for tomorrow.
Okay.
But going forward, people are still allowed to send us things through emails, to physically bring things there.
Okay.
We have a collections policy where we acknowledge whatever we have received, so there is no way Everton, yes. It would be acknowledged, and we'll actually say this is from so-and-so and for that. So that the interpretation of those things also are key going forward.
Can we just explain what can people bring?
Well, we expect people to bring pictures. We expect people to bring written documents. Letters. We also expect people to say, this Bible was used by my great-grandmother.
Okay.
I do hope that we will also be able to get something indigenous from people.
Okay.
Obviously, they can't be too big, because we don't have that much.
Is there a limitation on size?
There is no limitation on size, because we can actually digitize things going forward.
Must they provide a description of it?
It would be lovely to provide a description of it, because as a knowledge-producing institution, we would like that when the future generation of children comes, they're able to know why this thing.
Okay.
For instance, the Khoisan use the ostrich eggs as water carriers.
Yes.
And we would love that, you know. We would also like a description to say this was done by Ndate Moholo Mama, you know, and so on. Yeah.
Authentication, verification?
We do have processes of authentication and verification, but obviously, how could we then verify a letter?
Yeah.
You are telling us that that is your grandmother's letter.
Okay.
I don't think we need to doubt. And we always argue about authentication and verification, that let's not use Western ways of authenticating and verifying and validating our own indigenous knowledge.
Oh, it's an interesting exercise. If people would like to know more about it, can they go onto your website?
Yes.
And, okay,
yes.
It's www.
.freedompark.co.za.
Freedom Park is one word.
Freedom Park, one word. And they can also send whatever to our public relations officer, and it's Ilse, it's spelled ILSE at freedompark.co.za.
Oh, fantastic.
Can I repeat that?
Yes.
ILSE at freedompark.co.za.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you very much for coming in.
We hope to see you there.
Have a good
South
one.
Africans, we're expecting you.
Thank you very much. Peggy Potolez, acting CEO of Freedom Park. Okay, we're going to take a break. Morning Live continues after this.